Okay. We
Are we
are
live?
live now. Yes.
Welcome back, everyone, to another amazing night of Tribute Talk. We're excited because AJ is here. AJ's been in Paris, so welcome back, AJ.
Thank you.
I feel like we have a couple of things to talk about. I mean, first of all, it's exciting tonight because it's July 11th. So supposedly today is the day that they started Ballad filming, which is really exciting.
Yay.
I feel like we've been seeing, has anybody seen anything except for the picture with the 3 tributes? I feel like I don't know everybody's name yet, but there's a picture of 3 of the like younger tributes together, which is really cute.
Yeah.
It's like, I think Cooper Dylan,
Sophia, I know is one.
Sophia Sanchez, and then Luna Steeples. So it's Mizzen, Wovey, and Dill.
Oh my gosh, I still need like an org chart to like keep all these people straight, like all the tributes and all the mentors. Do we know how many still are left to be cast?
I feel like a lot.
Like still a good
I don't
chunk,
know.
right?
I don't know if we're halfway through yet.
Yeah,
You
because
had said
AJ,
before we were like 19, but now we have
Yeah.
more, right?
Yeah.
AJ, you made the very helpful post about everyone that we have cast. I was like thankful for that when you posted that. I was like, thanks. I just really needed that because I'm like Emily. I can't remember every single character, especially like the tributes and the mentors. I don't know.
I feel like I just need to go back to rereading the part of Ballad several times over that is the games. Like that is gonna have to happen soon.
Yeah, because even like remembering like which tribute does what is like so abstract in my mind right now. Like there's a few things, you know, like Bobbin, I'm like, okay, he's important, you know, because there's the confrontation between he and Snow, like that I have pretty like mapped out in my head, but like the other ones, I'm like, I know y'all do stuff, I just don't know who does what.
Somebody gets up on a beam. I don't know.
Here we go.
I don't know.
We can go back to what I was talking about. I think the last time we talked and show the Sims video. I'm upset. But like AJ, I don't think you were here because it was the last time we talked. I was talking about the like, I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube. If you look up like Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, like Death Order, it's like homemade Sims video. It's like so I love it. I don't know what the word is to describe it, but
okay, you gotta send that, Holly, because instead of reading 50 times, I'm just gonna watch that.
Yeah,
very helpful.
I need the visual aid.
I know that I'm planning on making a post with the 2 District 4 mentors and the 2 District 4 tributes because I gotta represent.
Yes.
So like watch me hyperfixate on these 4 minor characters. But it's yeah. And then I'm thinking like, I guess I need to just round up, especially with the last group, because I sort of like I knew the last round was announced, but I had just had too much going on and I didn't really get to absorb them yet. But I need to go through and I guess see how many pairs and mentors we have, and then I want to do like I want to make a post like a sheet with that, with like them in their pairs, because I think that's helpful.
No, that would be very helpful for everyone.
Oh my gosh, Holly, you just sent this video and the screenshot of it, I don't know, I'm just dying.
If you look
ridiculous.
If you just look up the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes on YouTube, it's like one of the first videos that pops up. I remember back before I knew any of you amazing people, like when I finished Ballad, I went on YouTube and I was like, let me look at videos. One was a very awful review, which I did agree with at the time. And then the second video was this Death Order one.
You're like an OG Into the Arena fan, you know Holly was a Ballad hater. Once upon a time. I was reflecting on that, not that specifically, but just the fact that like when we all read Ballad, we still didn't know each other, and it makes me emo to think about it now.
Oh Oh wait.
I just had no one to talk to about it in like the level of depth that I wanted to.
It was lockdown, couldn't see anyone. I needed to express my thoughts and feelings, so I was like, to Instagram.
Jerry, did you talk to a lot of people like on Instagram about it as you were reading?
I had a whole group chat of like people who had fan sites or fan pages in like 2013, and so
What the heck?
we
Where was
read
I?
Emily
that
was
was like way before I discovered you guys.
Aw.
Yeah, but we read it together. We talked about it.
What was your first like response then? Were you a fan of it? Because I feel like I would have enjoyed it more had I been able to talk to people.
I had like a whole like different like expectation in my mind. I thought we were gonna get like him becoming president
Mm-hmm.
for some reason,
Oh.
and so I was like disappointed. But then I read it again, and then I appreciated it along with you guys. I reread it when you guys went over it with Baki J Mondays on live.
Oh, Jerry. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like the answer is just read it again.
Yeah,
If you didn't like it.
Always.
I
And
would like
again.
I was like reading because especially because it was lockdown still for me at least, like I was like, I need to make this last, and I didn't want to, but I was like, I need to stretch it out as much as possible, which I think I gave myself like 2 chapters a day, and that ended up only taking like a week or something like that. But I made it a point to write in my Hunger Games journal that I've had since 2012, where I document everything in. I would read 2 chapters. I would write my thoughts every like 2 chapters basically. And there's like when I reread those little entries, there's like the parts where I'm like, is Lucy Gray related to Katniss? And I'm over here thinking I'm the only person who has like ever like thought about that. And and like as the book progresses, I'm like, no, wait, I don't want that. And then like whatever other random little bits and pieces. But a lot of it was like, okay, I'm waiting for it to hit. I'm waiting. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like there's going to be this crazy twist or something. It's going to happen. And I mean, for me, that happens like literally at the end in the forest, which was like when my opinion started to shift a lot more in favor of the book. Like I didn't dislike it, but it was very much like, I don't know where this is going and I don't know what to expect or anything. And then that finished it. And then that's when I went to like online and wanted to see other people's reactions. And then I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a spite thing, but anytime I see anyone say anything negative about the Hunger Games, immediately I have to disagree with them. And so it was almost like I started liking it. I started liking Ballad more out of spite. And then it just like actually grew on me. Now
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Because I was like, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that we even have another Hunger Games book. Like that was the biggest thing for me. I was like, I don't even care what it's about really. Like, and I was just relieved by the end that Suzanne didn't make us like sympathize for Snow, like in any real way, because I didn't think that was really going to happen. Like, I didn't think that was a real risk we were running, but I know so many people were worried about that. And so to know that that wasn't the case, it was like, okay, so there's nothing to be afraid of. And then I think once I got over that anxiety, I was able to like actually dive into the story and like appreciate the story for what it is, like independently from the original franchise. And then that made me appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah.
It was definitely not a linear journey.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I liked it, but I feel like I went in looking for things to like and like have that mindset more than looking for things that like trying not to focus on things that I didn't like as much.
Yeah. I think that's the right mindset anyway.
Okay, so AJ, I'm curious about your thoughts on the castings that we talked about that you missed. So do you want to talk about like your thoughts about Hunter Schafer, or I guess
Yes.
Jason, who was like Lucky Flickerman?
So, okay, I was just talking to my friend Aoife, shout out Aoife, who doesn't listen, but just in case. I was talking to her about this in maybe like January or February of this year, where I was like, I don't know why, but I would love to see Hunter Schafer in a Hunger Games movie. And it didn't even have to be ballad necessarily, but I just wanted to see her in the world of Panem somehow. And I think that comes from like seeing her like model work and just having these kind of like eccentric looks and stuff. And it just made me think of Capital stuff. And I have seen season 1 of Euphoria, and I liked her acting in it. And I hate the show. I don't even get me started on that. But like, I was like, this is such a shame. Like, I want to see her in other things other than Euphoria, because I feel like she has a lot of potential and she seems like a really cool person. And so this was just like a in passing like conversation I was having with my friend. And then like the rumor about her being Tigress came about, and I was like, oh my God, is this happening? And then it was confirmed, and I was so excited because my wish had come true, but also because I really appreciate what they've been doing. I think I mentioned this last time I was on Tribute Talk, which with their casting of actors with disabilities for characters that are not described as having disabilities, I think is really cool. And I think Hunter, it kind of falls in that category. It's not a disability, but she's trans. And as far as we know, Tigress is a cis character. And so that's like such a cool opportunity. And so for that, like in that sense, I'm super excited about that. And I'm also happy to see her doing things that have nothing to do with Euphoria, that are actually like very different from even that genre or whatever. She's also going to be in like a horror movie next year and stuff. I don't really know too much about that, but it seems like she's breaking into the film industry as opposed to like television. So that's exciting. Also, as far as her being Tigress, I mean, I think it'll be a small role, but her and Tom Blythe have such a similar like facial structure that it's like,
They
so
do.
believable.
I think you posted the side by side that just like blew me away. I was like, oh, I see it.
Yeah, it's so believable as that they'd be related, and so that's exciting. I do also love that Hunter is a fashion model, and that so is Eugénie Bondurant, who was Tigress in the Mockingjay movies. So that's like a fun, like real life connection, you know, to Tigress's passion for fashion. So that's fun. Jason Schwartzman as Lucky Flickerman.
I need this to be positive because
oh yeah,
I feel like I got attacked.
Yeah, I just want to say that I agree with everything that you said. I was just sitting here like, yes. So I just want you to know that.
And it was just so fun seeing like everybody's response being really positive.
Yeah.
That was a fun day.
I got one DM that was like, do you know she's a trans? And I was like bracing myself to have to like rip into this person, and they just never even opened my message. So I don't know what the purpose of that was. But yeah, I will fight anyone on this. Yeah. And then I guess just because I have to, if you're a minor, please stay away from Euphoria. I just have to say it at least once. But yeah, and then as far as Jason Schwartzman as Lucky Flickerman, I'm in favor for it. I think, you know, again, with like the on point family resemblance casting thing, they did that really well too. The only thing that I know him from is from like 2 episodes or something of Freaks and Geeks. If you've ever watched Freaks and Geeks, he is the guy that works in the like disco clothing store that the characters buy fake IDs from. That's literally my only point of reference for him. So
it's like a fun part.
So it's like a fun part, and you know, he's much older now because Freaks and Geeks came out in the 90s, I think, and he was like probably in his 20s then. I don't know anything, but like, yeah, so I don't know, it was crazy because I like immediately recognized him, and then I was like, wait, this is so random. But so fitting. I have no idea about his like acting or anything, so it'll be interesting to see what his portrayal of Lucky will be. But you know, he was a fun character in Freaks and Geeks for like 2 seconds, so I have faith. And then I guess the last round of tributes, I don't remember, was I'm trying to scroll back here on my own page here. I guess it was like Sophia Sanchez and all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last group. Yeah, I mean, I continue to be happy with the mentors and tributes. And I mean, I had no real expectations for those characters anyway, just because, at least in Ballad, you have all of those names and stuff. Like, you just sort of lose track of them super easily. And
Yeah.
I didn't really, it's not that I didn't care, but I didn't have any like specific requirements that I wanted from them. And if anything, I've been like super pleasantly surprised with, like I said, like the disability representation. I think that's really cool, for the representation side of it, but also because I think it kind of answers a question that a lot of fans have had, where it's like, you know, if a kid who has a disability gets reaped, like, do they reap the children, or does that kid go in? You know, there's never been any specific answer towards that. And I feel like, at least in the movie canon, we now know that it sucks to suck, I guess. Like, you're going in no matter what.
Jeez.
Which is terrible. But for like the film, TV, representation, it's cool, I guess. I don't know.
The one thing that's just really hard, I think, is especially seeing this picture of Sophia, Luna, and everyone's like, oh my god, they're actually children. Like,
they're babies.
Yeah, so scary. Like, oh, but I'm really glad. Like, I think for this movie, like, I think Susanna's going to be a lot more proud of it as opposed to the original 4 movies.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, they were great movies, but at the same time, like, people are realizing, like, us, like, on our account, we've been getting comments from people reacting to that picture being like, oh my god, these kids are so young, blah blah blah. Like, that's what it is. And so I'm really grateful for it, because obviously you don't want to see that on screen, but again, that's why she wrote this book, was to like reiterate just how dark it is, and how how we didn't get to see exactly what her thoughts were in the movies. So it's gonna be like really, I'm gonna get chills in the theater. I think I'm gonna cry, but
well, and compared from the first movie to this movie, I feel like they have so much more power to do what is reflected, what's in the book, than they did the first round. So that's exciting.
And it seems like, at least, you know, in the first movie, because that's when they're all kids, like the tributes are all children. It seems like the tributes were more on like the older side of reaping age. Like, at least the actors were like older looking. Like, except for maybe like the boy from 4 and Rue, there really weren't that many like actors that were children that looked like children, if that makes sense. And this one is like, the visual contrast is really strong. And I think, you know, when we'll get the Snow versus Bobbin sequence, like, that's going to be crazy, because Tom is 27. Even if he looks, if like they make him look 18, it's like at best an 18-year-old, versus Knox Gibson Bobbin, who's 14, I think. It's like, visually, that's going to be really striking. And then also, because the story of Ballad revolves, at least the first part with the games and everything, revolves so much around, you know, and with Gaul as a character, around the idea of like, we have to get people on board with this. We have to convince people that the games are going to be fun and like a popular thing to, you know, rally around. And you're still dealing with people who are like, this is uncomfortable, terrible. You know what I mean? Like, you're still, it's like when you get to Katniss's story, the games are already established. It's like at the center of everyone's lives by that point. And in Ballad, it's not quite there yet. and it's like, yeah, it's like really gonna emphasize like just how tragic and horrible and avoidable this all is.
Mhm.
Oh my
And-
gosh. Just thinking about how it's not established, like a lot of these kids going into the arena like won't even know what's really going to happen to them, or like they might not have even watched a Hunger Games. Like,
Yeah.
jeez.
Or even just like that all of them are at least like they've all been alive before the games start, because if your minimum age is 12 and this is the 10th, even if you're 2, it means like you were still alive at a time where this wasn't a thing, like where this didn't exist. You're being thrown into this. We also know from Ballad that a lot of the tributes die even before the games start. So like how scary is that? Like you don't even know, like, yeah, like you said, like they don't know what they're getting themselves into. They don't know what's going to happen to them. And what happens to the tributes that do die before the games is terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just so different than the 74th and 5th games that we're so familiar with.
This movie's going to be intense.
I'm ready, and I'm like,
I wish there was like I don't know, like a rating between like PG-13 and R. I don't know. Like PG-16 or something. I don't know.
16?
yeah. In France, that's a thing. There's a rating that's like, it's called, I'm translating, but it's basically like not recommended for kids under 16. And I
Yeah,
feel like
because-
that's kind of right.
It's such a stretch to go, like we're talking about like rating systems in the US, to go from 13 to 17. Like you can do a lot in a movie from a rated R to a rated 13 to a rated R.
Isn't it different on TV? Don't they have
Yeah.
like TV,
It's
or is it just
TV
TV 14?
Yeah, TV 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like obviously it's gonna be grotesque and all like awful and disgusting all at once without it. But I mean, just to show those darker moments, I feel like it would be better to have a rated R movie. But we have talked about in the past, I remember, about different like violence in the US and like how it's not usually marked as a higher rating movie based on violence. So maybe that'll be okay, but I don't know. It'll
wish, like-
still be scary.
I wish like, because if you have something that's rated R, so that means that you're allowed to do a lot more with like heavy themes, but it doesn't mean that you need to push it to the extreme of the rated R, right? Like it can be like a soft rated R, if that makes sense. Because I think like I don't need to see the blood and gore and all of that visually depicted on screen. Like I don't need that for the story to be intense. But if they could develop, dark themes or like the emotional intensity of it, because I feel like that's another thing that you kind of have to soften up a lot when you're under PG-13 rating, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't have to be like pushing it to the absolute extreme, but it's still more than what PG-13 would allow. I don't know.
But if it's going to be just barely R, then it might as well be PG-13. I mean, if we're thinking about money, which the studios
No, I know.
definitely are, which sucks.
I'm just thinking like as if this was not like a factor in just as far as
what
like
we
what
would want it to be.
Yeah.
For sure.
You need to push it to the limit. That, but I liked it.
Yes. Okay, should we talk about the new group that we got was it last week? Yeah, it's Monday.
Yeah, so we got 5 new tributes cast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lamina, Mizzen, Reaper, Brandy, and Tanner, which I don't remember any of these people except for Reaper, to be honest. Like, I know the name, but what happens to them, I have no idea.
I think, is Brandy the one that kills Arachne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I
Lamina's on
know-
the beam.
There's
Yeah.
that beam again.
Yeah.
And then I know
killed-
Mizzen is the boy from 4 just because I have to retain that. It just sticks in my head.
Wait, I'm looking at the picture. At least the one that we posted. Is Oh, I'm confused. I need to find like a clear cut. AJ,
Lamina is first,
okay, and then we're going down.
and then Mizzen going across,
Wait, what? Oh, I get it now. I'm confused.
and then Brandy.
Yeah. I think Brandy, like the person who's playing Brandy, looks awesome. She looks
Mhm.
like you could
She
just
looks fierce,
get
yeah.
your throat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Brandy, like Tanner from District 10. Okay, Reaper though. I was like talking about Reaper. I was like, he's cute. I'm not gonna lie. That's the first casting where I've been like, oh my gosh. Like, I remember when Alexander Ludwig got cast. Oh my gosh,
my God.
this is a throwback. So, remember when he was an Abercrombie and Fitch model and he was on the bag, like when you went to the
Oh, yeah.
I remember I told my mom we have to go to Abercrombie and Fitch, even though I didn't shop there. And I had to get the freaking bag with his shirtless body on it.
Wow, that's dedication, Holly.
That's like I just remembered I pulled that from the bag, but that was my first crush in the Hunger Games was Alexander
So
Ludwig. I was
cute.
like, yeah. Oh, but yeah, enough about me.
I know, I just looked at this picture of Reaper and I could just imagine him saying, like, sorry, I'm gonna have to kill you all.
Yes. They like this cast looks so good. Okay, we should talk about Maud Ivory because I've
Mhm.
heard mixed things. What does everyone think about Maud Ivory? Because I think she's a cutie pie.
Well, I mean, first, I feel like it's interesting that we just got the two, which is kind of, I think, what we were theorizing, that we were just going to
Mhm.
get Billy Tope and Maud Ivory,
Mhm.
and probably the other Covey members are going to be just like featured extras or like background musicians. But
Right.
they're really the only two that are needed for the story,
Yeah.
especially having to like cut things out and cut things down as much as possible.
Yeah,
I mean, I think she's cute. Do we know how old she is?
let's look this up.
She looks 12.
Yeah.
Watch her
am-
be like
I
16.
feel like
or
she
something.
looks like 10. She looks really young to me.
I'm really bad at gauging age though, so.
I don't know why I thought 8. I don't know.
How old is Maud Ivory supposed to be?
She's
Do we
supposed to
know?
be 11,
Okay.
I think.
In my
Yeah.
head, she's like 6.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's like it's like weird. A child under the age of 11, like they all look the same to me. Like you could be a 2-year-old, 8-year-old, it's the same. Like I have no concept for children whatsoever.
Let's see.
In the audiobook, it makes her sound like she's like 6.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just pictured, okay, younger than Prim, like 6. I don't know why my mind went there, like half the age.
Like, let's see, Prim is 12. That means Maud Ivory has to be 6.
Yeah.
I
I
cannot
feel like
age anywhere because there's not much on her.
There's only like 2 pictures of her on
Interesting.
the internet.
Yeah.
for me, she's definitely not what I pictured at all.
Mhm.
I imagine Maud Ivory as being like with brown hair for whatever reason. I mean, I thought maybe that's what they'll do, you know, like you can dye hair or whatever, but I don't think it's that important for the role of Maud Ivory. It's definitely not what I was expecting, and I think it's but we talked about this maybe a little bit like in the chat or something, but just like I guess they're trying to visually make a reference to Prim, maybe.
Mhm.
If they keep her blonde, like assuming that's what they're doing. Which I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Because something about Ballad that kind of annoyed me was I didn't like all the connections to 12 or Katniss and like the original story. Like 1 or 2 is cool, but like I always felt like it was a little bit heavy on the references, and so I don't need more, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm not like I'm mad at this. Like
Like
I really
upset about it. Yeah.
like I really don't care about it. But it doesn't get me excited, but I don't care. So like whatever.
Not my Maud Arbery.
It's just like I pictured her to look like Katniss. And in my head, Katniss doesn't look like Jennifer Lawrence. But then if we go to the movie and they want to make a connection between them, then she wouldn't look like what I pictured in the books. But then if you just have a little girl with brown hair to connect her to Katniss, like I don't know if that's as visually easy to like look at a little girl with brown hair and be like, oh, she's could be related to Katniss. Whereas if you have someone who looks like Prim, I feel like you will think about Prim if you see a little girl with blonde hair.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But maybe they're dyeing her hair. Maybe she won't be blonde. Who knows?
Yeah. I almost feel like that's weird though, because like the role of Maud Ivory, I feel like she's important, but she's not like, I wouldn't consider her a main character. And so to go out of the way to like dye some little girl's hair for this smaller role seems like an odd choice, but you know, watch me eat my words. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the most likely thing is that they want her to look like Prim.
Yeah.
So like,
I
I mean,
agree.
that's what I think that they're doing. Which is kind of weird to me. Because like just to have another, like you were saying, it's just I'll definitely think of Prim if I see a little blonde-haired girl on the screen in the Hunger Games. So I don't know if I like that connection being so like
Obvious.
loud. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess also, I mean, I hate it because like, you know, we're fans and we want everything to be as authentic as possible, but it's still a film studio trying to make money, and it's like if they want to get people to come see it, you know, like they'll try to put in those polls anywhere they can.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, even if it's not something like people pick up on, like obviously they're like, wow, that girl looks like Prim, I guess I'm gonna go see the movie. Like it's not like that, but I guess just to make it feel as familiar as possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do think it's cool she's like a 4th generation circus performer.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty neat.
That's sweet. Sweet. I did not know
Billy Tope looks great, but that's like
I feel like
basically
he's
exactly what I-
perfect.
Mhm. He does look older than I expected, but that also doesn't mean anything. So
Yeah, I feel like everybody does that. I mean, like all the main cast is older.
mhm,
So or like the older characters are even older.
mhm. Spruce is one of the Peacekeeper friends, right? Or am I remembering that wrong?
He's the rebel who Lil, the girl from the hanging tree who yells out,
Oh yeah.
that's his
Okay.
sister. And they're in the shed and he shoots Billy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I remembered I was like, oh, he's involved with the gun somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow, but
I really do need to. There's just so many names. I don't know why. I
There's a
usually
lot.
have a problem. Like I was able to keep Game of Thrones straight, but for some reason, Ballad, and I think it's just because I'm a visual person and reading doesn't work for me with that. And so like I just forget so easily who's who. It's like I remember what happens, I just don't remember who's who.
I don't even remember what happens because there's so many people.
Yeah. That's
But
fair.
it wasn't like that reading the Hunger Games. Like I remembered the
You know
characters.
something? When I read Mockingjay the first time, I was so confused. Like, and granted, I was like 14, 15, 14, I think, when I read Mockingjay. Yeah. I could not keep the events of Mockingjay like in order. I was so confused by Plutarch's character. I was so confused by their trajectory throughout the Capitol in the end and everything. And then when the movies came out, and granted it was split in two, but even just watching Mockingjay Part 1, I was like got it. And even though they changed stuff and moved stuff around, I was like, okay, I understand this way more. And that's why for me, I say I think it's a reading thing. I've always had an issue with reading. I just don't enjoy it typically. And so it's hard for me to like stay focused. And I didn't read Mockingjay with the audiobook. That's what I do now. I have like the audiobook read it to me while I follow along on the page. And that helps a lot. That's what I did with Ballad, but yeah, I'm assuming the same thing will happen. Like when Ballad comes out, a lot of these things I was unsure about will be cleared up for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's not just you with Mockingjay though,
Yeah.
because I also like I'll not remember things that happened in the book in Mockingjay. I rely so much on the films for Mockingjay as opposed to like things that happen in the book. But I feel like with the Hunger Games, it might be that it's a little bit slower too, or like the moments that happen in the book are much bigger, whereas
Yeah.
the arena in Ballad, so much is going on, both inside the arena and outside,
That's true.
and there's so much action.
There's
It's
also
hard
like
to follow.
so many names that are thrown at you because like in the original franchise, like Katniss doesn't bother to learn the names of everyone because it's like a
Right.
vanity thing.
Yeah.
And also because she's just not interested, like she just doesn't. So like you'll hear things like, oh yeah, the girl from 10 did this thing, but it's not important enough for Katniss's story. You don't need to know her name. It's not useful for anything. But because Snow is a mentor, it would be weird if he didn't have all the names of his classmates or like the majority of the tributes, since he's sort of like trying to figure out what to do and how to help Lucy Gray win and everything. It makes sense within the context of Ballad to have all the names, but as a reader, it's a lot to keep track of.
Oh my gosh, I hope they have them with their little clipboards, like watching, and like somebody dies and they're like, and you can see them all like striking
out the name.
Like, if I was a director, I'd put it in a shot like that.
Yeah, like instead of because in the 74th games they have like the names and the like the picture and the district comes up in the sky or in the arena or whatever, and that's how everyone keeps track of dead and everything. But it would make sense to do like a little montage where it's just like different.
They're just crossing out names, or like some of them like, oh dang it, like get up and like walk away.
Like crumple up a piece of paper and like throw it on the ground.
I love a good montage.
I love a good montage too, man. That's what I'm saying.
Montage in this one.
I just think a lot of these like casting announcements, I think a lot of these characters are just gonna be glorified extras because there's so many of them, and I don't think like half of them are gonna have any speaking lines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they won't really have speaking lines, but I mean, it's cool to know their names though,
Yeah.
as opposed to the random tributes from the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if Suzanne gave the other tributes in the other games names? Then I feel like it would be the same.
Yeah.
We'd be really confused. Yeah, I guess so. It's just so hard with the names.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot.
did like getting the names though, only because I'm obsessed with linguistics and etymology and all of that stuff, and I love that the capital names tend to be of like Roman influence or like mythology influence, it seems, and then the district names are usually something related to that district's industry or or like a more quote unquote normal name, like common name or something, because it just adds to the world building. And and that's not true for every single character, but it's still interesting. Like I think I just lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be weird if it followed it too rigidly.
Yeah. Or yeah, like I was gonna say, like lamina for me always made me think of laminate, and it's like, when you laminate paper, and she's from 7. Like there's just like stuff like that where I'm like, I don't know how like intentional that is, or like if that's what it's supposed to be referencing or anything, but that's just where my mind goes. and it's just cool. Mizzen makes me think of the word mist. Like there's just, I don't know. So just for like a world building standpoint, I like seeing how the district people name their children as opposed to the capital people. It's interesting.
I need your tactics to remember names because helps.
Bizin is actually part of a sale, I think. I've looked that up before.
Oh,
I've heard that.
that makes sense.
So, yeah, it's part of the sale of a sailboat.
I love that. That's like where I took my inspiration from for my own characters. Like Cleaver is like, that's a little bit on the nose, but I don't care. But yeah, like I just like that a lot of them have names relating to their district industry. And I think it also helps cement that idea of like they're a piece in the machine that is Panem, whereas like the capital people are named after like prominent Roman figures where it's like they get to be people. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We also got Persephone Price, which is she the one from the Cannibal family? Or is that somebody else?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I know about her.
That's a detail that I feel like won't make the movie, but I kind of wish it did.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
So, Jerry, wasn't it you that last week did that poll where it was like if you could see anything in the movie that you think's not gonna make it?
Oh yeah, I did.
And I remember somebody said that, and I was like, oh, just like picturing
That was a good one.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, that's. They would have to stretch the rating.
Yeah.
Just a little
bit. The Walking Dead.
It's also like I don't like it, but I just feel like it adds something.
Story, yeah. It's just like you peel back more and more layers of like pure evil,
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like the struggle that the capital citizens had to survive, which I feel like is important to the story of Ballad.
It's also like a real thing. Like I know a lot of people in France in World War II had to eat rats, because it's like it was that or die, and it's a level of desperation that unfortunately people reach, and it's real. I think also metaphorically speaking, having a person literally eating another person is very representative of Panem. It's like, or at least the capital, it's like they're such consumers and consumers of humanity that it's like, I just liked that detail so much. I felt like it just really added something. I don't know.
I just love that, like, every time Snow sees her, he just thinks about that and thinks about how much better he is. Like, oh, I'm not a cannibal.
Which is such a weird perspective. Like, I don't know. For me, it's like, if I knew that, I mean, I'd be freaked out, but I'd also be like, I feel lucky that I was never in a position where I had to eat another human. Like, my immediate place wouldn't be like, well, I'm obviously so much better than you. Like,
but I mean, that's Snow's whole personality towards everyone. Right. So
yeah, for sure.
Does anybody else have any thoughts on the last round of casting?
Who ordered this pig?
Can we get Viola?
Where is she?
What?
Can we order Dr. Gall? Like,
yeah, we need to talk about that. I am having a theory in my head where I'm like, what if they had, because I don't know how Hollywood stuff works. What if they had her, like Viola Davis, and suddenly she got like a contract or she got like a better opportunity? And so maybe that's why they're holding off like announcing her, because they have to like go back to square one. That's like all I can be thinking about.
Maybe they just wanted to wait until her promo stuff came out from the Woman King. Is that the name of the movie she's going to be in?
I think so.
Yes.
Woman King.
Yes, that's it.
I don't know, like maybe they just didn't want to like have that come out and an announcement of something else she's in like at the same day or the same week or something. I don't know. But it seems like they would need to announce that like this week or pretty soon
Yeah.
because like she might be seen filming. I don't know. It's like just tell us.
I'm wondering if that's all that they're gonna announce for tributes too, and mentors.
I
Like
feel
this
like we'll find out this week. Like if we don't get anything this week, because it's been like every Tuesday or Wednesday, kind of like clockwork for the last.
It has seemed like like the announcement, like the first announcement day became Tuesday. I think Tom was the only one that was on a Monday, right?
Yeah.
Jason was also on a Monday.
Not Jason.
Oh,
I
I
guess
just,
so.
Wild Monday at 10 a.m.
yeah, interesting.
Because then we were sad. We were like, we don't have tribute talk. Are you kidding me?
I
One day.
guess there's no like real pattern, I guess, that's like, reliable, but it seems like the round of tribute and mentors comes out on like the Tuesdays. And then
They didn't
like
do it last
solo-
week, right?
but
Was there nothing Tuesday last week, or was there?
no, that's the last round was on Tuesday.
Oh, it was on Tuesday.
I-
Okay.
Yeah. And then we didn't get any solo characters, which like the solo characters seems like it would be the day after, like it's been the day after the group of tributes, or at least that's how it's felt. I don't know. But I guess like this past week was, 4th of July, but they still announced the group of tributes and stuff. So like it's weird. Yeah. There's no clear, reliable pattern that we can be like, oh, for sure, we're gonna get this on this day. Like,
I guess we'll see tomorrow then.
Just toying with us.
Me waiting. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh. No, I just said they were just toying with us.
Yeah, literally. We're just a piece in their game.
their games.
I was watching. I sent you guys a
I
video.
was gonna
of
say me waiting for tribute talk last Tuesday.
Wait, the one comment Chase makes tonight is him just distorted
Is it
sound.
that bad again?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
The one
I mean, I'm pretty sure I ended last week's tribute talk with "See you on the 11th." So
Yeah, I was sitting here like, why haven't they sent the link out yet?
you could have done it by yourself. Listen.
Yeah, that would have been a trip. I'm sure people would have loved that.
if you get Rue on there, it'd be fine.
Probably, y'all would have lost followers.
Oh, I was just saying I was watching a behind the scenes video of the tributes being cast and like how they were cast. An interview with like Deborah Zane, and
What?
she talked about not for this,
I was like, what?
but for the Hunger Games,
You too.
which I just hope that we get something like that for this cast because I love casting and like hearing what all like goes into it and everything.
Yeah.
But she was talking about like the whole marketing and how it was really awesome, like how everybody was announced, like the districts together and stuff. And I'm like, where is that? Where is
Yeah.
that this time? I forever will be asking Lionsgate marketing, what's going on?
Weird. I wonder if maybe they'll do like character photos and then they'll do that announced together. So,
I'm
like,
sure they will. Like, we'll get cool marketing eventually, but like,
You know what would be
where is
cool is if like the countdown to the release day, like they do 12 days before the release, and then they start with like, they basically do like the two pairs or the pair of the two tributes corresponding to the day remaining days remaining. Does that make sense? I'm not explaining
We could
that
do
well.
24 days of Hunger Games.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Yeah, or just like, 12 days, so District 12 and then District 11, like make your way back down to 1. And then it's the games. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy. No.
Sounds great. Put that on a poster. I want
Prime.
a poster too. Like, can they make posters and like release them so I can put one up in my room?
For real. I'm like, okay,
I mean,
Where's the
we have
merch?
the logo now, so
where's the
what
pin?
are we
The
doing?
merch.
Yeah, the
Let me go,
pin.
bro.
Like, can we get that ready? Can we get that out?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we think of Tom's hair?
Oh
The
no.
real question.
Oh no, no, no,
The
no.
real topic of the night.
I just want to say something real quick. I bleached my own hair last night and it looks like that. So so that's what I'm saying. It looks awful.
Okay, controversial opinion. Okay,
Oh,
I love it. It's not what I expected, and maybe they're still in the process of doing it, because I know bleaching your hair, like, in theory, you want to do it in
I know.
steps. Holly, I've bleached my own hair. Like, I've done that so many times. Like, I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying, like,
I
from
mean,
a
his hair is
professional.
pretty dark too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, if they're gonna not do the Josh Hutcherson thing and actually do it right this time, then they might be doing it in different phases, because that's healthier, and yields better results. So maybe that's what's happening. If it's not what's happening, if that's what we're getting, I am definitely a little bit iffy about it. It's not what I imagined. For Snow, I imagined that he would have kind of like, not shaggy hair, but just kind of like loose curls that would be kind of longer. I also just really like how bleached hair looks, but so it's maybe not fitting for the character, but I like it still aesthetically. I don't know.
I just don't like the yellow. It looks like old, like vanilla ice cream.
ew, what?
It's yellow. Like, it's
like
been in the fridge
homemade
too long.
vanilla flavor.
Yeah,
That's
it's
old.
nasty.
Yeah.
He looks yellow.
That could be the elevator lighting. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
there's
not like
kind
I
of like
hope
a
so.
warm tone, I feel like, in that elevator picture.
I pictured more like whitish hair. I know that doesn't make sense for a young person necessarily, but like
Yeah.
I kind of
Back
wanted
to
whiter
the
hair.
EW drawing that we all were referencing. It's like a little
That
bit more.
picture scares me.
It's scary.
like the
He has the
platinum.
biggest chin.
Okay.
That kind of platinum blonde can definitely happen, like, with young people, but if you're not naturally that platinum, that's definitely a process to get to with bleaching and toning and stuff. That's why I'm like, it's possible that that's just the first level.
I think it's just the first level.
Because
Or they're
people have also been sharing pictures of Josh and like what his hair looked like when he wasn't filming, like before. And I feel like it looked very similar, but like his end result didn't look
that bad.
that yellow. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never thought his hair looked bad in the movies. It just looked wet all the time. If it wasn't wet, like the color never I thought was weird. Did everyone else think that, or am I just the first one?
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
the worst was the like wet look.
Yeah, if they would have gotten that
The
under
greasy
control,
look.
it wouldn't have been bad.
He
I
was
don't-
nervous, okay, he was sweating.
Yeah, he was running. He was nervous.
Well, no, I'm talking about the reaping.
The
Like,
reaping, yeah.
he was sweating.
Yeah, he
I would be sweating too. I'm not gonna lie.
sweating bullets.
I loved both of those, like the flame suit thing. I know that's controversial. I don't care.
It's fine.
And the reaping outfit and hair combo, like, I always liked those. For me, it was just like, when I was younger, I was a lot more obsessed with like hair dyeing, and I used to have like neon green hair and unnatural colors and stuff. And so for me, it just was like obviously like an untoned bleached hair like color. And that to me was frustrating. So I'm like, y'all are a film studio. Like,
Really?
do better. It costs $15 at Sally's to get toner. Like, it's really not a budget issue. Like, that was more annoying. But I don't know. I was used to it. It wasn't like crazy. I know like some people are wondering like if they'll give Rachel extensions or if like she'll just have a shorter hairstyle.
They'll give her extensions, I feel like.
I hope so. I really can't picture Lucy Gray with short hair, but like even if she did, I think what would bug me the most is I would just see like, oh, that's her Snow White hair. Like, because I
She
know
kind of looks
why.
like Dora right now.
Thank
I
you,
don't want to
Chase.
see Dora in the Hunger Games.
Do.
Can you say weapons?
I say snake.
Swiper, no swiping my fucking spear or whatever. I'm sorry, I just
Rat poison. The compact.
Oh my god.
So do we think that Tom is going to be wearing a wig? Because I feel like
I hope
I'm
not.
feeling pretty confident he's going to be wearing a wig since his hair was short.
I think so.
Because
Why
how
would they
many
be?
We're gonna
How
have
are they going to
long
go back
hair.
and forth between capital scenes and when he has his hair cut short if he's not wearing
No,
Oh,
wigs
yeah.
never turn out good.
like
I
it was
just-
a little bit longer in that picture, but to me that means they're either he's just leaving it a tiny bit longer so they can kind of cut it however they need to, or maybe it's when he's going back to the Capitol at the end and it's grown out a little bit.
I'd be fine with him just keeping short hair throughout the movie instead of a wig. I don't like the wigs ever. Wigs never look good.
But I kind of want that dramatic visual of him like getting his
Yeah.
hair cut
Yeah.
off though when he becomes
Maybe they can just show a haircut montage, but not really do the haircut.
You can cut like the hair of a wig, you know, and make that look, because it doesn't have to be like super clear on screen as long as you have
Right.
like you're conveying you're cutting the hair of somebody. I don't know. Also, like just as a side note, seeing Millie Bobby Brown's buzz cut wig in season 4 of Stranger Things like blew my freaking mind.
Yeah.
And if that like hair and makeup department does not win some kind of award just for that one wig, because her hair is long
so
as hell.
good.
It is so good. And all the edges, like you cannot see any of the lace or anything. And so I'm like, I don't know. But I feel like it is possible to have good wigs. And if that's the route that they go with, then we'll just have to hope it's not goofy.
Well, I know when I was in talks with them, they wanted me to have a wig, but that's where I drew the line. So
You're like, no,
I threw
don't
this.
touch
I
my
threw the
hair.
script at them. Yeah, I threw the script at them and said, "Shove it."
Just like
And I
the
walked out.
extras who
You
don't
walked
want to be
out, yeah.
extras because they don't want to cut their hair.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my God.
extra revolution. I mean, I don't blame them. I don't know if I would cut my hair for it either.
What?
I would come.
I don't know. That's a big
I
commitment.
would
Well,
eat
I'm
poop.
over here eating poop, so
I
I mean,
would
don't
literally-
ask me.
Too far. Too far.
I would take out my piercings for the Hunger Games, and like I would not take out my piercings for anything, but I would do it for the Hunger Games. I would let them shave my head. I've already shaved my head. They could do whatever they want.
They would have to guarantee me at least one line or a gasp or something on screen. Like, oh! I would have to have something other than just my face
Girl, what?
popping up. I don't know. I don't know. What?
We can't hear you.
Yeah, just ignore it.
always
It wasn't
drowning.
that good. It wasn't that good. I'll think I'm gonna go back to brainstorming something different.
Emily, I'm dead. He was drowning.
Almost exterminated.
That's what it sounds like.
Does Emily?
Yeah, I said what I said wasn't that good. I'm gonna go back to brainstorming some new stuff. So
There you go.
All right, see you in a bit.
You haven't made
back to the
comment
drawing board.
yet, so
What'd you say? Huh?
you haven't made the comment of the night yet. So
Yeah, I don't really have much. I had a lot to do today. I was serving justice to the people.
ooh, interesting.
I sat on jury duty today, so I
Oh.
was on the jury. So I had a hard life today.
You got fed and everything.
No, I wish they just gave us an hour. We had to go home and eat.
Oh, that's rude.
I know.
I
What the heck?
Why you like Chick-fil-A or something? I don't know.
I
Our
always
nearest
think,
Chick-fil-A is 45 minutes away.
oh my god.
What?
I don't even like it that much. But
Like the
anyways,
closest bookstore. Oh my god.
yeah, it's all in the same town. Yeah, I have to drive pretty far.
I always think of like jury duty always makes me think of when Stanley in The Office wants to be on jury duty.
Oh,
He's like,
Oh no,
He's
I'm
like-
Stanley.
I get to like miss work in an air conditioned room while my lunch is paid for, judging people.
Away
Like-
from all these people.
That's always what it makes me think of. But I don't know. I haven't had to be on jury duty yet, so maybe I'll feel
Well, I
different.
didn't send the guy to jail. I almost, when I went in there, I thought I was going to, but then once I heard the trial, I was like, yeah, I can't send this guy to jail for this. He's free.
he was walking the streets.
Be free.
I left the courthouse, his dad and brother, who looked pretty sketchy, were hanging out of their truck saying, "Thank you guys," and gave us all thumbs
Oh.
up.
Uh,
So that was awkward. I went, "You're welcome," and gave him a thumbs up.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
can you talk about what the case was, or is that a no?
Yeah. No. It's over. So yeah, I can talk about it. This guy, he was dating this girl, and they had a dog. And she said that he came in one night and stole the dog and like hit her on the head and left. And I was like, okay, so I heard
legally,
that and
my
I
mind
thought,
went to Legally Blonde.
I'm taking the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, that's not cool if he did that. A, he hit you, and B, he stole an animal, and C, he broke into your house. But there was no records of any of it happening. It was just she went and got the cops and said it happened. The guy was nowhere to be found at that time. There were no medical records. She said she got a concussion. There was no medical records. There was no pictures of that. There were no pictures of the house. I mean, it was just like there was no evidence that he was even around. So I was like, I can't convict him for that if he was nowhere to be found. Or there's no evidence that he has the dog. No one knows what the dog is. That was my biggest concern. Is where is Sierra? They still don't know where the dog is. So I mean, I didn't feel right sending him to jail for that. So, therefore, I voted no, or not guilty, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You only had to go for one
So-
day.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. We didn't know what kind of case it was going to be, and I was afraid it was going to be like a long something. But in my town, nothing's that major. So I figured if I did get picked, it might be shorter. And yeah, I was out by 2:00, so it wasn't that bad.
Oh, that's cool. I'm kind of dreading
But it was-
just because like New York City could be anything. Like could be anything. It could be a parking ticket, but it could be like Grand Theft Auto and a subway shooting. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, once I got there, I was like, "Are you seriously about to make me decide about who stole a dog?"
Yes.
And then I was like, "Oh well."
You're like, this guy has.
Wait, what kind of
Yeah.
questions did they ask you at the beginning?
Like to
to
weed
get
us
you
out.
on the jury? Yeah.
Well, there were 60 of us to begin with, and then they drew 28 names, and I was one of the 28. And then they asked us questions like, "Have you ever been represented by either of these either of these lawyers?" And like one person had. I'm like, "Well, yeah, I knew she was a crazy woman." So I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." So she got excused, and then it was like, "Are you related to any of these lawyers or any of the clients?" And no. "Do you know any of them?" No. And then it was like, "Have any of you ever been like, had issues with law enforcement or animals, like animal abuse, crimes against you, stuff like that?" And it was just like basic things that would cause you to be impartial. And then they weeded us down to 28, like I said, and then they drew names out of a hat. And I was just one of the 12 that had to
Wow.
stay. So it was pretty.
It's like a reaping.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, it was really intimidating. It was kind of at first, and then I was like, "Oh, it's about a dog." Okay.
About a dog.
I thought they were gonna
I
ask
mean,
you
justice
like,
for
how much
Sierra.
do you love dogs or something like that.
How many of you own a dog? Please.
What's your
Yeah, I
favorite
thought it would be like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really stupid, but I served justice. I told my parents, I said I felt like Batman. I was saving the the
Oh.
innocent from crimes.
Look
So
at you. Well, you didn't find Sierra, so you didn't do anything.
we were in the jury deliberation room, like talking about it, and everyone was like, "Where's the dog?" I said, "Yeah, where is Sierra at?"
Can we get
And
a
all the
wellness
adults were
check
like, "What?"
dog, please?
For real, they don't know. And supposedly the guy threatened to kill the dog,
Oh no.
but there was no evidence of that. So honestly, I'm not sure Sierra's even around anymore.
Oh,
Oh man.
that's awful.
You didn't serve any justice, sir.
I know. My gut says that he did do all these things, but there was no evidence, so I couldn't really do anything.
Oh my
Good,
god.
good job.
But there was no evidence. I mean, you went to the hospital and didn't get your like a hospital report or anything. You didn't have any documentation at all. It was just kind of like you could have done so much to help yourself. Although that woman, the woman that is accusing her, she's like 25, and she's also incarcerated right now. She's a felon, so it was kind of a whole circus for everybody involved.
Wow.
I'm like, so we're supposed to send the guy to jail because of accusations by a woman who's already in jail. I don't really feel comfortable doing this. I wasn't prepared for this. They didn't teach me this in school. But I was in there with a kid I graduated with, and he was like, this was not like Law and Order at all. I was like, no, this is pretty embarrassing.
Where's Spencer at?
So I get $12 for it, and that's all I get. Thanks for the time. Yeah, that's all I get paid. So
Jeez.
it's a rip off.
Shucks.
Well,
Oh,
do we have anything else to talk about? Hunger Games related?
Well, you mean my jury duty speech wasn't good?
I mean, I asked.
There was a little bit of a reaping vibe with the name selection, so it's related.
I agree.
Yeah, I tried to tie it together.
Reaping Day
And
was
possible
last week.
murder
Dun,
of a
dun.
dog, but murder nonetheless.
Oh my god.
It's building.
Poor Sierra.
Told Rue extra tight tonight, okay?
For real. I'm gonna give Rue an extra treat. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Sierra's at the bottom of the river or something.
Oh my god.
Stop! I don't want to hear about it.
Sorry.
This is
I'm
not
sorry.
about-
dude.
The
We have
live
to
end.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna say, Jerry, tell us what day are we gonna get Gall this week?
Oh no.
We have to know before we sign off.
Oh, we're not getting here this week.
Ooh,
Oh,
I agree.
has spoken.
cut me deep.
If they wait until after the Woman King press is done, I mean that movie doesn't come out till September. So what if they decide to wait? What if that was like one of her obligations?
Like until like that was all announced. It's like the trailer came out last week.
That trailer's pretty good, but other than that,
I don't know.
In
We'll
the
see.
comments that the majority of our scenes are interior, so
Why you gotta like ruin it for me like that? Really?
Jerry speaks the truth.
I
He
can
knows all.
comment. You can comment.
wait, in which movie they're interior?
For
In the
Ballad.
Hunger Games?
Ballad,
Like
yeah.
they'd all be in the lab. So like
They could change
they
it to
don't
have
even
her
need
like
to announce them.
they could have her like do something, in the arena seats, like watching things happen. Like she could be doing stuff.
Well,
We don't
also
They're just
for,
gonna
like,
CGI her in.
like the funeral and like that whole like procession and everything. I
Yeah.
picture that like outside, kind of like a like coin, like how she stands up there at the end.
That's how I imagined it.
Yeah, like
Plus-
like Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That's how I imagined
I
it.
did that
With like the
too.
cranes instead of the balloons, it's just the kids on the
Yes.
cranes.
Oh my god.
I had
Hey.
the same
Whoops.
visual.
Oh my
Why
god.
are
That's what I want more than
They
anything.
need to
That and
keep it.
the leg. That and the
Yes.
maid's leg. If I get that and the cranes, I'll be good.
AJ,
But-
can you draw the crane? Like, can you draw that scene? Because, like, it's like so horrifying to imagine just like the bodies dangling. It's so weird.
But he wants you to draw it out for him.
Yeah, you should draw it.
Pretty
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Do you want to submit a commission for that? I don't know
Yeah, I can
about
do that.
drawing bodies
do that.
hanging from cranes. Like I feel weird. Like I drew this in my free time, in my fun free time.
Yeah, I'll do
Um,
that.
No,
What was
but I
the
mean,
other thing that we
What's
needed
even?
AJ to draw? I can't remember.
the
Something
forest
from Ballad.
sequence.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I know that's gonna take forever. I have had no motivation for anything recently, and it's frustrating me. I'm like waiting for it to come back, but I need something to happen for that to come back. And it'll happen.
Hunter Schafer is Tigress. Do that.
Yeah. The problem also is that I'm still very much consumed with Stranger Things because it's been 3 years since the last Stranger Things season, and season 4 was incredible.
Has it
And-
really been 3 years?
Yeah.
Yep.
2017.
That's crazy.
I'm
They can't
glad I didn't
pump
have
'em
to
out
wait
quicker than
like
that.
Well, because of COVID.
Gosh.
Oh, I forgot about
I was
that.
telling
Okay,
Emily-
that makes sense.
I was telling Emily, like, the prime of my life was summer of 2019 when I would go to Baskin Robbins every night and get a freaking, like, sundae from, like, Scoops Ahoy. Oh,
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Now
Um,
I'm in the middle of
That was
season 4, so I really want to go to the Stranger Things experience now. Like
Emily-
I gotta go.
Emily,
the Sam.
I'm going. Come with me.
Well, probably
I've got to actually watch it.
New York is far away. I'll probably go to San Francisco.
That was one thing about France that worked out for me is the day before I got there. No, the day after I got there. I don't remember. Yeah, the day after I got to France, the Stranger Things Paris pop-up store opened.
Oh, sweet.
So that felt like fate. And it was amazing. But that's just a store, it's not the experience. But I did get the Hellfire shirt because it's necessary to my well-being. And a jacket with Eddie because he's the love of my life. But anyway, yeah. Stranger Things is like one of my all-time favorite TV shows, and it's been forever. And so since this most recent season and how amazing it's been, that's like all I'm focusing on at the moment. Not intentionally, it's just how my brain works. I can't,
Stations, yes.
I cannot get it to shift.
That's how
Like,
mine
all-
is.
What?
That's how mine is. It's like I will drop all my other fandoms when I'm watching, like, if I'm watching Stranger Things, it's like I could care less about the Hunger Games.
Oh
If
my
I'm watching
god.
the Hunger Games and I'm like, oh, screw Twilight. I don't know what this is like. Like my brain
Yeah.
just works that way.
Yeah. It's the neurodivergent experience is very interesting in that way. But
Oh.
it'll happen. There's like so much stuff from like my Hunger Games like art fanfic art book thing, like my Ren 66 games thing that I'm working on that I still need to do, and I very much want to do. I just anytime I open Procreate, my brain is like, no, draw Eddie for the 50th time,
Eddie.
please.
No, do Robin. Do Robin for me, please.
Holly, I'm working on some new things for the shop.
I can't wait.
I don't really like Eddie, but I'm only on episode 2, so
No,
Emily,
just
you better
wait.
be careful.
Watch yourself.
That the guy who said this one's for you, Chrissy. Whatever.
Chrissy, wake up.
which I
know.
finally get it now.
It's my alarm in the morning, and it's
I
the
don't
best way
get
to wake up.
it. I don't even know what the movies are about. What is it about?
Grandpa.
I said, I don't get it. I don't even know what the show is about.
You said the
Oh.
movie. We heard you say movie.
We all heard it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did say movie. Sorry, guys. Sorry about it.
It's been a long day. He's thinking about Sierra.
I'll watch it one day.
Please do. It's a masterpiece.
Oh, she's with me in spirit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
AJ, when are you going to Stranger Things experience?
Go see Sam. Or like this girl
What?
who like, is it so Sam is like a huge
She's a
cosplayer.
Bella cosplayer.
Yeah, in the Twilight
And she's
community.
working there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We'll send you like pictures of her and then you can go
Yeah.
find her.
Please do. I don't have like a set like date or anything yet. I haven't reserved tickets. I probably need to do that soon, but I'm supposed to be going with a friend of mine who's a Harry Potter friend, and that's how we met. And we actually met for the first time in person at the Harry Potter store opening day, but we'd been friends on Instagram. Like that was just the first time we hung out in person. And then like maybe the third time we hung out in person, which was also going to the Harry Potter store again for like the third time. She was like, hey, the Stranger Things experience is happening next year. If we're still friends by then, do you want to go? And I was like, what do you mean if we're still friends by then?
I feel like I have to join this. This sounds very full circle.
Yes.
1 year reunion of us hanging out last time.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying like it needs to happen. She hasn't like answered me yet as far as like when she wants to go or can go. But I mean, like with the Harry Potter store, I will go as many times as needed. I don't care. So like yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna be in the city.
Harry Potter.
Yep. But I will happily go as many times as you would like.
No, I just need the cost of flights to go down. It's ridiculous
Yeah.
right now. And it is preventing
know.
things that I want to do.
Yeah, that's relatable. Well, if for whatever reason you're just like, hey, I have a
Go
free
to New
ticket.
York.
Yep. Well, you wouldn't need to pay for a hotel unless you wanted to, but I'm just saying you wouldn't have to do that. You could just stay with me. But yeah, it's yeah. Well,
Okay, I'm gonna let that ruminate.
yeah, we'll put a pin in it. Holly, we need to have a Stranger Things live. I know we've said this like 3 times, but we need to do it.
Wait, oh my gosh, I would love that so much. We have to do it with Emily when Emily finishes.
Yes.
It's all us 3.
It's
just
gonna be a
hear
while
Emily's
though, because
reaction.
these episodes in season 4 are so long.
Oh,
You'll be fine.
give it a second.
We went from like 40-minute episodes, 45 minutes to like an hour and a half.
The
Hours.
finale is 2.5 hours.
Oh my gosh, that's a movie.
Yeah.
My only comment is it did not need to be that long, and I will fight other fans who think that it did need to be that long.
So Holly, you and I are gonna fight.
Yeah, that
I
turns
think
me off
we'll
on it a little bit. Like, why not make it just 2 episodes? Like, a longer season. Why is it 1 episode?
I'll just say this, and then we can discuss this more in depth when we gather for this. But season 4 is by far my favorite season. It is, however, the season I have the most beef with. It's like, yeah, I'll wait until
AJ, yeah,
everyone's
we should
like-
actually like legit plan to do one because I have a lot of thoughts that I need to get out.
I have very
Holly,
fresh thoughts.
Exactly.
Holly, did I send you my essay that I wrote?
No, well, no, because I didn't. You told me to look at your Tumblr, and I didn't because I wanted to write down my thoughts before I read
Okay.
anyone else's.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I also the Tumblr that you followed was a side blog, and I'm a dinosaur that doesn't understand how Tumblr works. And so
Oh my gosh, this is some like antiquated language.
I know, right?
Tumblr.
I made it a side blog, and then I didn't realize that you can't do anything from a side blog. Like you can't
It's
comment or like posts from a side blog, which is stupid. So
so stupid.
the Tumblr that you followed, Holly, is a side blog, and I moved it back to my primary. So just
Okay.
it's the same name. I can resend it to you if you want, and then you can just have it. But yeah, just for information. But also don't judge me.
I'm not gonna judge you. Are you kidding me?
I'm very self-indulgent on there. It's just-
Fine.
I need to follow this Tumblr, AJ.
Emily, I will hook you up.
Tumblr.
Okay.
But yeah. Cool. So we'll talk.
Oh yes.
But yeah.
But yeah.
I do want to
But
draw
yeah,
like aiming at a Demogorgon because I think that would be really fun.
Ooh yes. See, I just need my
wait,
Robin.
are we talking about Harry Potter?
No.
We're talking about Star Wars, obviously.
It's
What
me.
the-
I'm talking about that.
Oh no, I'm getting hit with everything I don't like.
No,
Star
no.
Wars.
But okay, wait. Last thing before we close out, AJ, I found Robin like the vinyl, the pop vinyl. Funko
Yes.
here, but I didn't find the keychain one.
Okay,
So,
I'll still be on the lookout then.
I love you.
I need a Steve pop.
Oh, I have a Steve Pop from season 2 or season 1 with the
Ooh.
like.
I need a Scoops
that?
Ahoy one.
Yes, I need a Scoops Ahoy one too. Let's just all go pop hunting together.
What if, you know how Holly and Emily met through Twilight and then created a Hunger Games podcast? What if we met through Hunger Games and then started Stranger Things?
Oh my God, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, AJ. It's called Into Hawkins.
Isn't there only one more season left though?
Yeah.
Into the Upside Down.
Rip.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
I did find a Stranger Things podcast called Upside Down Podcast. They've been around for apparently since the show started. I just only found them now, and I was like, boy, I have a lot to catch up on.
That's amazing.
I haven't had the time yet, but I'm excited.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Well,
Any other thoughts, anyone?
on literally anything.
Fucking anything tonight.
Because that's where we are.
Missed each other. It's been a week.
My only thought is if you go to the hospital and they tell you have a concussion, get medical records if you're going to go to court. So
True.
that's just advice for your life,
That's
everyday
the take.
use.
Okay.
Cool.
Also, I was locked out of my Tumblr and I just reset the password, so I'm gonna go follow you now. for my
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you for joining my podcast.